Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today, our group will present a topic about India-US relations and Russia factors. Let me introduce, next slide. Let me introduce our members before we go into the topic. Uh, our members are Adam Haikal, Luqman Hakim, Muhammad Luqman, uh, AFFAN, Muhammad ALIF, Muhammad HARDI, and Syed Kamil. Next slide. I will start with introduction. Over the years, India-US relations have grown significantly underpinned by shared values and mutual interests. Both countries are committed to upholding democracy and the rules-based international system. The bilateral trade between the two nations reached a record of $157 billion in 2021, making the US India's largest trading partner. India and the US also collaborate closely at multilateral organizations including the UN, G20, ASEAN, IMF, World Bank, and WTO. The two nations share concerns about China's rise and recognize the importance of cooperation on issues like terrorism and climate change. These factors have led to the deepening of the strategic partnership, making India a vital partner in efforts to safeguard the Indo-Pacific region. Uh, I will Russia plays a significant role in India-US relations due to historical ties, defense cooperation, and shared geopolitical concern. While India seeks to strengthen the relation with the US, its reliance on Russian arms and historical partnership complicates the dynamics. Balancing relation between Russia and the US poses challenges for India, but Russia's role remains influential in shaping the overall trajectory of India's foreign policy. Step into the realm of international diplomacy as we decode the intricate puzzle of India-US relations and the enigmatic role played by Russia, uncover the secrets behind their historical alliance, strategic interests, and the delicate dance of power in a rapidly changing world. Listen to our presentation till the end on this captivating exploration of the intricate web of global politics, where the interplay between India, US, and Russia holds the key to understanding the complexities of our interconnected world. Now, I would like to pass to the next presenter.
Okay, thank you, Alif REDZUAN. Now we are going into historical overview. So India-US ties were complicated during the Cold War. Under Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru, India pursued non-alignment and maintained strong connections with the Soviet Union. The US, which was fighting with the USSR ideologically, was skeptical and worried. The US also diplomatically recognized India in 1950. India criticized US policy, notably the Korean War, which caused tensions. India's non-alignment and the US view of its intimate links with the Soviet Union source relations. Next slide. Okay, India-US ties changed after the Cold War in the early 1990s after the Soviet Union collapsed and India liberalized its economy. The two nations could reassess their relationship. Both nations improved relations in the 1990s. India underwent economic changes under the US President Bill Clinton in 2000. Whereas he visited to India, established the US-India Strategic Partnership. The 2005 US-India Civil Nuclear Agreement authorized civilian nuclear energy cooperation. This agreement deepened strategic connections and provided new collaboration channels between the two countries. Next slide. In 1947, US recognized India as a sovereign nation after gaining independence from British colonial rule. And in 1954, India signed the Panchashil Agreement with China, causing a slight rift in India-US relations. Later in 1962, the Sino-Indian War strained India-US ties, with the US supporting India. And in 1971, US supported India during the Indo-Pakistani War, leading to the creation of Bangladesh. Uh, Later in 1998, India conducted nuclear tests resulting in temporary strains in India-US relations. Also in 2005, the US-India Civil Nuclear Agreement was signed enabling civilian nuclear cooperation. Later in 2014, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to the US marked a renewed focus on bilateral relations. Lastly, in 2020, the Basic Exchange and Cooperation Agreement BECA was signed, enhancing defense cooperation and information sharing. Thank you. I will pass to the next presenter.
With the aforementioned fact, we can see that India and US have relations, and here we're going to present the area of cooperations between the two. Relation dates back to the early independence after the British left India, that is in 1947. And like before, India and US have diplomatic relations in 1950. Now the two mutually enjoys close relationship and specific cooperation, more specifically on the issue of economy and security. Keep in mind that China and Russia are actually one of the key purpose that they actually have this relationship. In moving on to the economic sector of cooperation. According to World Bank, the US is large trading partner of India, and in 2021, the bilateral deal between the two reached $157 billion. The US include export that is wide range of goods to India, including aircraft, machinery, and pharmaceutical. India export wide range of goods that is textiles, gems, and agricultural product. IMF survey finds that US also the large investor in India with a cumulative FDI inflow over 50 billions. US companies have invested in wide range of sectors in India, including manufacturing, IT, and clean energy. Indian companies also invested in the US with accumulative FDI outflow of 20 billions. Moving on, we're going to note that US and India relations economically have different divergence of interest that actually serve what is ultimately an economic purpose, from technological education to healthcare. The countries actually cooperate in development of technologies such as clean energy and artificial intelligence. They also working to promote sharing of technological expertise between the two. India's CEO has dominated the labor market in the West, especially in the technological sector. Education exchange actually between the two is very prosperous, with India can promise a very promising prospect via large demographic that they have, and healthcare and also medical research also serve underlying pharmaceutical economic interests, especially to the US. Moving on to the next presenter.
Okay, thank you. And now we're moving on into the defense trades. The signing of the new framework for India-US defense relation in 2005 has led to the emergence of defense relationship as a significant aspect of the strategic partnership between India and the United States. This has resulted in an increase in defense trade, joint exercises, personnel exchanges, collaboration and cooperation in maritime security and counter-piracy. The US defense trade cooperation between India and its partner has been progressively growing, as evidenced by the implementation of the Logistic Exchange Memorandum of the Agreement (LEMOA). The United States also has designated India as major defense partner and elevated them to the strategic trade authorization Tier 1 status, which allow them to license free access to a wide range of military technologies.
Next, we move to Russia factors in India-US relations. Next slide. The Soviet established an embassy in New Delhi on April 12, 1947. Since the 1950s, India received assistance from USSR for its industrialization, development in areas of defense, space, and atomic energy. During the Cold War, India was dependent on the USSR on strategic issues such as the Jammu-Kashmir problem. The Indo-Soviet Friendship Treaty of 1971, this military technical cooperation has indeed been at the center of this bilateral relationship. This military assistance played a significant role in India's successful military campaign and contributed to its victory in the war. After the dissolution of the Soviet Union in 1991, India's relationship with Russia underwent a transition. The Declaration on Strategic Partnership between India and Russia, signed in October 2000, marking a significant milestone in the bilateral relationship between the two countries. Defense and military cooperation remain a vital pillar of the India-Russia relationship, and Russia continued to be a significant supplier of defense equipment to India. India and Russia enhanced their nuclear cooperation in the post-Soviet era. Next slide. India-Russia Defense Cooperation. India-Russia defense cooperation has a long-standing history, and it has encompassed arms sale and military technology transfer. Over the years, India has diversified its source of defense procurement, but Russia continues to be a significant partner. India and Russia have collaborated on various strategic defense projects. Notably, examples include the joint development and production of the BrahMos supersonic cruise missile. Next is license production. In certain cases, Russia has authorized the license production of military equipment in India. Next is joint military exercises and training. India and Russia have a history of conducting joint military exercises and training programs as part of their defense cooperation. For example, Indra exercises. Indra exercises are a series of bilateral military exercises conducted between India and Russia. Both of the countries also have conducted joint counter-terrorism exercise to strengthen their capabilities in dealing with terrorist threats. That's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, move to the next factor, which is the Russia role in regional dynamic. Firstly, about the Russia-China strategic partnership. The two countries have cooperated extensively in defense, energy, space, and technology sectors. Russia remains one of India's largest defense suppliers, and the relationship includes joint military exercises, defense technology transfers, and collaboration in the development of advanced weapon systems. This partnership provides India with a degree of strategic autonomy and diversification of its defense capabilities, which affects its overall security posture. Next, Russia influence in Indo-Pacific and Central Asia. Russia military cooperation with China, including joint exercises and arms sales, may raise concern for India as it seeks to balance its own relationship with both countries. Russia involvement in regional initiatives such as the Shanghai Cooperation Organization and the BRICS grouping. It can influence regional dynamics and potentially impact India-US cooperation. The US and India have shared interests in a stable Afghanistan, free from extremist threats. India and the US needs to coordinate their policies and engage with Russia to ensure a peaceful and stable transition in Afghanistan. Next slide. Next, about the impact of Russia factor on India-US relations. First, about the US concern over India-Russia defense cooperation. Russia's long-standing defense partnership with India has helped in building India's defense capabilities. The acquisition of Russian military equipment has provided India with a diverse range of platforms and technologies. It can contribute to India's security and defense preparedness, which is viewed positively by the US. Next, potential implication for India-US strategic partnership. Russia close ties with India and its own regional engagements such as cooperation with China may raise concern for the US. US could express reservation if it perceived that India defense cooperation with Russia compromise shared strategic objectives in the region, and this could lead to a potential divergence in priorities and strategies between India and the US. Move to the next presenter.
Okay, thank you very much. So I will explain about policy recommendation and suggestion. First is strengthening India-US relation while maintaining ties with Russia, so we can do a multilateral engagement, diversify partnership, economic collaboration, defense cooperation, threat to diplomacy, engagement on regional issues. Next slide, please. The second one will be enhancing trilateral cooperation among India, US, and Russia by doing a counterterrorism, energy collaboration, cybersecurity, climate change and environmental cooperation, and science and technology collaboration. So the next policy will be the addressing regional challenge and promoting stability. So we will look into the path of maritime security, non-proliferation and arms control, conflict resolution, and humanitarian assistance and disaster response. Next slide, please. Lastly, we will be fostering dialogue and confidence building measure. First, we'll be doing the diplomatic engagement, strategic dialogue, media and public diplomacy, and economic cooperation and trade agreement. That's all from me. Thank you. I'll pass to the next presenter.
Okay, our presentation embark on a fascinating journey through the realm of international diplomacy, focused on decoding the intricate puzzle of India-US relations and the enigmatic role played by Russia. India and US, two nations bound by shared value and mutual interest, and US become India's largest trading partner. Collaboration knows no bounds as they tackle global challenges together, from terrorism to climate change. India's crucial role in safeguarding the Indo-Pacific region cements its status as a vital partner. But let us not forget Russia's part in this grand narrative. Historical ties between India and Russia run deep. The Soviet era fostered a strategic partnership with Soviet assistance propelling India's industrialization and defense development. Russia's role in regional dynamics cannot be ignored. Its strategic partnership with China involvement in initiative influenced the chessboard. India, the US, Russia must navigate this complex terrain to ensure stability in the Indo-Pacific and peaceful transition in Afghanistan. However, challenges loom. The US expresses concern over India-Russia defense cooperation. Striking a balance between the strategic partnership and historical ties become a delicate art. In this intricate web of global politics, India, US, and Russia hold the key to understanding the complexities of our interconnected world. Together, let us foster dialogue, build trust, and address regional challenges to forge a path towards stability and prosperity. That's all from our group. Thank you.